Hello, thanks for joining me. As you can see, I'm in the workshop and I've got the Tiger Cub T20 up on the workbench. I'm just about to check the valve clearances and I thought this might make an interesting video. If you've not done the job before, you might want to see how it's done. It's a very, very quick and easy job, but I thought it was worth recording. So I'll talk you through what I'm doing. When you're doing valve clearances, you really need to be able to turn the back wheel so that you can find top dead center on the engine. And so you need to put the bike up on the center stand. My bike doesn't have a center stand, and so I use this little roller. I'll zoom in so you can see it more closely. I have mentioned this roller in a previous video. I think just before Christmas I made it as a sort of video of if you're looking for present ideas, it's a cheap and useful little thing to buy. So these are two rollers. That bottom one there is just a little ramp so you can get the wheel up onto it. And when you get the wheel up on there, you can turn it. Really useful for doing things like oiling your chain, cleaning the wheel, particularly a chrome wheel like this with spokes. You know, you can really just keep turning it around like that. Or in this case, it allows me to easily turn the wheel with the bike in gear so I can find top dead center in the engine. To check the valve clearances, you need to remove the rocker covers and the two on the Tiger Cub. So this one at the front is the exhaust cover, and then the intake rocker cover at the back. Each one is just held on with one small nut in the middle there. Just remove the nut off the front, the exhaust cover. That on mine, that was a 7/16. Doesn't necessarily mean it'd be the same on yours. Just be aware. So you should be able to get the cover off. If it's stuck, just a very gentle tap with a soft mallet or something should just loosen it off, because there is a seal in there. Just note there is a copper washer there where just come in closer so you can see. There's a copper washer there, so you need to make sure that that is in place, either that or a fibre washer. That's and that's a copper washer there, so I'll probably just reuse that one. It's fine. And also you need to check the gasket. I think in this case I'll just put a little bit of gasket sealer on there when I replace it. You can see it's already got gasket sealer on, rather than putting a new gasket on. I make my own gaskets, so I mean I could just cut a new gasket and put it on there, but I think that would be absolutely fine with just a bit of new sealer. So you can see there you've got access to the rocker arm. I'll just zoom in. Okay, that's a bit closer. So you can see with the rocker cover off, that's the stud that the covers hold on by. Here's your rocker arm, and here is your adjuster and the gap, the valve just underneath there. So I'm just going to remove the rear cover. It's exactly the same procedure, and then I'll come back, and because this is the easiest one to film, I'll show you doing this one. It's exactly the same procedure for the inlet one on the back. To make it easier to get the engine to top dead center, which is what I need it for to check the valves, I'm going to remove the spark plug. It just makes it easier to turn the engine over because there will be no compression. Obviously, when you're working on the bike with that spark plug in, always just be careful about not dropping anything down the spark plug hole, and before removing the spark plug, if necessary, clean round this area so you don't get any dirt in there. Whenever I remove the spark plug, I always check it as well, but that's fine. I've not actually run the engine much since I put that in, so that's fine. Right, so now I can turn the engine over by turning the back wheel. So I put it into gear, and then I'll turn the back wheel, put it into second or third gear, turn the back wheel. And what I'm looking for is top dead center on the compression stroke when both the valves are closed. So I'll just turn the engine over a couple of times by spinning the back wheel with the engine in gear so that you can see the valve opening and closing here. So don't forget that's the exhaust valve you can see there. So as I turn the back wheel, and I'm turning it in the direction of travel, you can see that starting to open and that's closing. I can see the intake valve now opening, which you probably can't see on the video. The intake valve has now closed, and so I should be now approaching top dead centre on the compression stroke. But to see that, what I'm going to do is just put a probe down the spark plug hole here. Now, I know that that is a contentious issue, and there's going to be people screaming in the comments saying never ever put anything down the spark plug hole. Well, I've been doing it all my life, and as long as you're sensible, it's okay. So don't, as a friend of mine did a while back, use a pencil. He put a pencil down there, and of course it snapped in half. So he had half a broken pencil rattling around inside the compression chamber there. So not a good idea. So normally what I use is a thin, long-handled screwdriver. So I'll just grab one, then I can show you. Okay, I just moved the camera so you can see more closely, but I've just got a little screwdriver here. So I'll give a health warning, because I know there's going to be people screaming about this. You know, be careful. If you're going to do this, do so at your own risk, because, you know, be aware that if you just kind of let it flop around in there like that, it could get caught underneath a valve, you know, could damage something. So I'm pressing it down. I can feel the top of the cylinder there. Now I'm going to turn the wheel in the direction of travel, as if the bike was moving forward, and you should see that coming up now. You see, so it comes up very, very quickly. And that's almost at top dead. So I can just feel you actually get a slight pause at top dead centre. So if I overrun a bit, I can feel it starting to go back down again. So I just adjust that, and that's absolutely bang on top dead centre at the compression stroke. So both of my valves are closed, and then I can start checking the clearances. The first thing I always do is I just get hold of it and I just see if I can rattle it. So with each one, don't know if you can hear that, but there's a slight rattle there on that one. So the first thing I know is important is, you know, they're not really tight, you know, and fairly close properly, but I would have known that because it wouldn't have been running properly. So now I'm going to check the clearances. In terms of the clearances you want, the standard clearance for the Tiger Cub engine is 0.1 of an inch on both the intake and the exhaust valves. So that's what I'm going to set this at. However, if you have a sports cam in the bike, so if it's one of the sports models, then it's much tighter. I can't remember off the top of my head. You need to look it up. It's something like 2,000 and 4,000 of an inch. So much, much tighter. But what's important is that you don't do the standard Tiger Cub engine at those tighter tolerances. That's only for when you've got the sports cam in there. So I'll just grab my feeler gauge and I'll check for 10,000 on both of the valve clearances there. There's two ways you can do this, and I know an approach that some people use, and that is to simply just, you know, loosen off the adjuster and reset the clearance. So you've got a 10,000 gauge, that's a 10,000 gauge, put the 10,000 gauge in there and then reset it, and it should just be nipping it, should just be holding it on 10,000. The way I do it is normally, if I think it's going to be okay, because I'm checking all of my bikes fairly regularly, I will try the appropriate gauge in there. If it fits, I will try. So if it fits, then I know it's at least 10,000. If it feels a little bit loose, I will try a slightly thicker gauge. And, you know, so for instance, I've got an 11,000 here, and the 11,000 doesn't go in. That won't go in. So I know that that's not too loose. So check the rear one as well. So it just slides in. I mean, it's quite a tight fit, is that? But it just slides in each case, the front and the rear. So I'm going to argue that that's absolutely spot on. That's a 10,000 gauge, and as you can see, I'm just, if I can slide it in straight without getting my head in the way of the camera, it just slides in there nicely there. But it's sort of it grips the gauge. So that's it. If you do need to adjust them, then you loosen off this lock nut here, and then the square bit is actually the post that adjusts. So you turn the post. So the way I do it is, if I've got a spanner to show you, I'll put a ring spanner over there. That's not quite the right size, but you get the idea. Put a ring spanner over there, loosen it off. Then I will turn the post with a pair of thin nose pliers till I got it right. hold it in place as I nip it up, because if you don't hold it in place, when you nip it up, it might just tighten it up a little bit. And another thing you might get is, as you nip it up, because it's tightening the thread, it might pull the gap up a little bit wider, so you might have to experiment it with it a little bit, but it's so much easier than buckets and shims is this, with just a little lock nut and adjuster. Okay, so I said that was a quick and easy job. Both of them are absolutely fine, so I'm going to put the covers on, and as I said, I'll just put a little bit of gasket sealer. I'm going to clean around there, put a bit of gasket sealer on before I put the covers on, and they should be fine. The gasket sealer I use is Well Seal, and I use this for most things. It's pretty good stuff, and tube this size lasts for ages. And I find that the easiest way to apply it without getting mess everywhere and getting a nice even coating is using mascara brushes. So I've got a little jar here of the disposable mascara brushes, so I don't bother trying to clean them. I just use it one time. You can see that little mascara brush. They're absolutely perfect. You get a little bit of the gasket sealer on, and then it just spreads nicely. I get a few funny looks when I go into the shop to buy my mascara brushes, but hey, sometimes you've got to suffer for your art, haven't you? Right, I've just replaced the rear rocker cover, and I have nipped up both of these. I know somebody's going to ask what is the torque setting for that little nut on the stud there. And the answer is just tight enough. I have no idea what it just needs to be tight enough so that the gasket seals. So just nip it down. So now put the spark plug back in. One thing I always do whenever I had the spark plug out, might as well just give it a quick clean with a wire brush. It was fine. In fact, you can see it's so new is that it's sort of clean around the rim still. And just check the clearance on the spark plug, which should be 20 thou. So just slide that in, and you can see 20 thou literally just slides in and grips. So that's absolutely perfect. So the spark plug can go back in. And that job is done. What a quick and easy job that is. So I just nip the spark plug down. And again, just nip it down like that. You don't need to torque it down. There we are, job done. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, look out for other material I have on working on both my Tiger Cub and on my Bonneville T140. Anyway, ride safe. Hopefully see you again soon. Bye.